Welcome back to Survival English, the podcast where we teach you the English you actually need in real life. I'm Jax.
And I'm Zora, and today we are going to the library and school.
And before you say, I don't go to a library, hear us out, because the English you use at a library is the exact same English you use in a classroom, at a university, at a college, in a training session at work, and anywhere you are asking someone for resources, information, or help learning something.
And today's grammar inserts are two of the most universally mixed up word pairs in the entire English language. Not just for learners, native speakers get these wrong too.
Lend versus borrow, and bring versus take. Two pairs, four words, and by the end of this episode, you will never mix them up again.
We have four scenes today: arriving at the library and borrowing books, asking a librarian for help with research, talking to a teacher in a classroom, and dealing with overdue books and library fines.
Grammar inserts at every scene. Real phrases you can use the same day. Let's go.
Scene 1. You have just walked into the library. You want to borrow some books, but you do not have a library card yet. Let's go to the front desk.
Good morning. Welcome to the library. How can I help you today?
Good morning. I'd like to borrow some books, but I don't have a library card yet. Could I apply for one today?
Of course. I can set that up for you right now. Could I please see some photo ID and proof of your address?
Certainly. Here's my ID card and a recent utility bill.
Perfect. And is this your current address?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. Your card will be ready in just a moment. With this card, you can borrow up to 8 items at a time: books, DVDs, magazines, and audiobooks. The standard loan period is 3 weeks. You can renew items online, by phone, or in person, as long as no one else has reserved them.
That's very helpful. And could I also access the internet and computers here?
Yes, computer sessions are available for up to 1 hour per day. You can book a session at the desk or online. Wi-Fi is free and available throughout the building. Just ask for the access code at the desk.
Wonderful. And if I want to reserve a book that is currently on loan, how do I do that?
You can place a hold on it through our online catalog, or I can do it here for you. We will send you an email or message when it becomes available for collection.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And here is our first grammar insert, and it is the big one today: lend versus borrow. Two words that describe the same transaction from two completely different perspectives.
This is one of the most common mistakes in English at every level, and it matters because using the wrong one sounds immediately off to any native speaker, even if they understand what you mean.
Here's the core rule. When you give something to someone else temporarily, you lend it. Could you lend me your pen? I'm asking you to give it to me temporarily. I lent her my book. I gave my book to her temporarily. The library lends books to members. The library gives books to members temporarily.
When you receive something from someone else temporarily, you borrow it. Could I borrow your pen? I'm asking to receive it temporarily from you. I borrowed a book from the library. I received a book from the library temporarily. Can I borrow this for a week? Can I take this and return it after a week?
The simplest way to remember it: lend equals give out. Borrow equals receive.
The most common mistakes. Incorrect. Could you borrow me your pen? No. You cannot borrow to someone. You lend to someone. Correct. Could you lend me your pen? Correct. Could I borrow your pen?
Incorrect. I want to lend a book from the library. No, you don't lend from someone. You borrow from someone. Correct. I want to borrow a book from the library.
One more, and this one catches even advanced learners. Incorrect. Can I lend your notes for tonight? Correct. Can I borrow your notes for tonight? Because you are the one receiving.
If you only remember one sentence from today, remember this: you lend to someone, you borrow from someone. The direction of the object tells you which word to use. Key phrases from Scene 1. I'd like to borrow some books. Could I apply for a library card? Could I borrow this book for 3 weeks? How many items can I borrow at a time? Could you lend me a pen to fill in this form? I'd like to renew this book. Is it available for renewal? Could I place a hold on a book that is currently on loan? Can I borrow a computer for 1 hour, please?
Scene 2. You are a student. You have an assignment due next week and you need to find resources. You're not sure where to begin. You go to the librarian for help.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm a student and I need to find some resources for an assignment on climate and environmental policy. I'm not sure where to begin.
Of course, I would be happy to help. What kind of resources do you need? Books, journal articles, government reports, or a mix?
I think a mix would be best. My teacher said I need at least 2 academic sources and 2 real-world sources.
Great. Let's start with the catalog. I'll show you how to search by subject so you can find relevant books on the shelf. For academic journal articles, we have access to several online databases through our library portal. You will be able to access those from home as well using your library card number.
That's great. I didn't know I could access journals from home.
Many people don't realize that. For government or official reports, I would recommend going directly to official government or international organization websites. They publish policy documents publicly and free of charge. I can write down some useful web addresses for you if that helps.
That would be really helpful. Thank you.
And if you want to help with formatting your references or citations, we run a free study skills session here at the library. It covers referencing, research skills, and academic writing. Would that be useful?
Definitely. Could I bring a friend who is working on the same assignment?
Absolutely. Just bring your student ID on the day.
And that brings us to our second grammar insert, bring versus take, another pair that seems simple but trips up almost every English learner regardless of their level.
The key is both words describe movement, but the direction of that movement is completely different.
Bring, movement toward the speaker or toward the place being discussed. Bring your ID on the day. The speaker is at the session. You are moving toward the speaker. You carry your ID toward them. Could you bring the book to me? Movement toward the person speaking. I'll bring some notes to the study group. You are moving toward the group.
Take, movement away from the speaker or away from the current location. Take this book home and return it next week. You are moving away from the library. Take your assignment to your teacher. Movement away from where you currently are. Don't forget to take your library card when you leave. You are leaving, moving away.
The simplest test, ask yourself, is the movement coming here or going there? Coming here equals bring. Going there equals take.
The most common mistakes. Incorrect. Should I take my ID to the study session? If the session is where you are going toward, correct. Should I bring my ID to the study session? Incorrect. Can I bring this book home? You are going away from the library. Correct. Can I take this book home?
One more where both can be correct. Same books, same action, different speaker. Bring your books tomorrow, said by a teacher. You are coming toward the teacher. Take your books to school tomorrow, said by a parent. You are going away from home.
Key phrases from Scene 2. I was wondering if you could help me find some resources. I need at least 2 academic sources. Where would you recommend I look? Do you have access to any academic journal databases? Can I access the library databases from home? Could you write down some useful web addresses for me? Should I bring anything to the study skills session? Can I take these notes home to review?
Scene 3. You are in a classroom. You need to ask your teacher something about an assignment, about your grade, or about getting extra help. This is where many learners go quiet because they are not sure how to address a teacher in English.
Excuse me, would you have a moment after class? I had a couple of questions about the assignment.
Of course, I'll be here for about 15 minutes after the session. What would you like to go over?
I wanted to make sure I understood the requirements correctly. The brief says we need a 2,000-word report. Does that include the reference list?
Good question. No, the reference list is not included in the word count. The 2,000 words refers to the main body of the report only.
That's helpful. Thank you. And regarding the submission, do we submit it online or bring a printed copy to class?
Online submission only, through the student portal. Make sure you submit before the deadline stated on the brief. Anything submitted after that time is considered late.
Understood. And if I'm finding some of the concepts difficult, is there any additional support available?
Yes, most schools and colleges offer a student support or tutoring service, usually free of charge for enrolled students. I would also encourage you to bring your draft to me during my office hours. I can give you feedback before the final submission.
That would be incredibly helpful. What are your office hours?
Wednesday mornings from 10 until 12. Just knock on the door, no appointment needed.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Let's pull out the grammar from that scene. Notice how Zora opened, "Excuse me, would you have a moment?" Not, "Hey, can I ask you something?" The level of formality matters in a school or college setting.
In many English-speaking schools and colleges, teachers are comfortable with you using their first name. But if you are unsure, always start formal. Follow their lead once the conversation begins. Excuse me, would you have a moment? I had a question about the assignment. Would that be okay to ask?
Also notice this phrase, "I wanted to make sure I understood the requirements correctly." This is one of the most powerful classroom phrases in English. It shows you are engaged, it is polite, and it invites the teacher to clarify without making them feel they explained badly.
Compare incorrect. I didn't understand what you said about the assignment. Sounds like a criticism. Correct. I wanted to make sure I understood the requirements correctly. Sounds like self-reflection and diligence.
And is there any additional support available? This open phrase works in any school, college, university, or workplace training context anywhere in the world. It gets you pointed in the right direction without you needing to know exactly what support exists.
Key phrases from Scene 3. Excuse me, would you have a moment after class? I wanted to make sure I understood the requirements correctly. Does the word count include the reference list? Do we submit online or bring a printed copy to class? Is there any additional support available for this subject? Could I bring my draft to you for feedback before submission? When are your office hours, and do I need an appointment?
Scene 4. You borrowed 3 books from the library 3 weeks ago. You forgot to return them. You go back and find out you owe a fine. What do you say?
Good morning. I'd like to return these books. I'm sorry, I know they're overdue.
Good morning, no problem. Let me check these in for you. These were due back 10 days ago. There is an overdue fine of $1 per item per day. That comes to $30 in total.
I wasn't aware the fine accumulated daily. Is there any way that could be reduced at all?
I understand it can add up quickly. This is the first time you have had an overdue fine on your account. I can apply a one-time goodwill reduction of 50%. That brings it down to $15.
That's very kind, thank you. And is there a way to receive a reminder before books are due so this doesn't happen again?
Yes, if you log into your account online and add your email or phone number, we will send you a reminder a few days before the due date.
Perfect, I will do that today. And I'd also like to borrow these 2 books if possible.
Of course, these are due back in 3 weeks. Enjoy your reading. Now, an important vocabulary point from that scene, the difference between a fine and a fee, and this applies at libraries everywhere.
A fine, a penalty for breaking a rule. Returning books late equals a library fine. It's a punishment for a rule violation. How much is the overdue fine? I have an outstanding fine on my account.
A fee is a charge for a service. Printing, photocopying, reserving an item, these are fees. They are not punishments, they are costs for using a service. Is there a printing fee? What is the reservation fee for placing a hold?
In everyday speech, library staff often use fine and fee interchangeably, but formally, fines are penalties for rule violations. Fees are charges for services.
And the most important phrase from that entire scene, correct, is there any way that could be reduced at all?
This phrase works anywhere in the world, at libraries, banks, phone companies, utility providers, and government offices. Many organizations have a first-time goodwill policy, where staff are authorized to reduce or waive a charge for a first-time case. But they will only apply it if you ask. Ask politely and ask every time.
Compare, incorrect, That's too much. I'm not paying that. Correct. Is there any way that could be reduced at all? Calm, polite, and gets results.
Key phrases from Scene 4. I'd like to return these books. I'm sorry, I know they're overdue. How much is the overdue fine? I wasn't aware the fine accumulated daily. Is there any way that could be reduced at all? Is a first-time goodwill reduction available? Is there a fee for printing or photocopying? Could I set up overdue reminder notifications on my account?
All right, let's bring today's library and school episode home. 4 scenes, 4 sets of real phrases. Scene 1, borrowing books. Lend means you give something out temporarily. Borrow means you receive something temporarily. You lend to someone. You borrow from someone. Never the other way around.
Scene 2, asking for research help. Bring describes movement towards the speaker or towards a shared destination. Take describes movement away from the current location. Coming here, bring. Going there, take.
Scene 3, talking to a teacher. Start with, "Excuse me, would you have a moment?" Use, "I wanted to make sure I understood correctly." It sounds engaged and professional. And always ask, "Is there any additional support available?" wherever you are studying in the world.
Scene 4, overdue fines. A fine is a penalty for breaking a rule. A fee is a charge for a service. And is there any way that could be reduced at all? Said calmly and politely, works at libraries, banks, and service counters everywhere.
If you take one phrase pair from today, take this. You lend a pen to a friend. You borrow a pen from a friend. Same pen, same moment. 2 different words depending on which direction you are standing.
That is Survival English. Practical, real, and always useful. Subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Next time, we're heading to the real estate agent. We'll be covering inspecting a rental property, asking about lease terms, understanding your rights as a tenant, and fixing 2 of the most expensive word confusions in renting: bond versus deposit, and fee versus fine in a lease context. Get those 2 wrong in a rental agreement, and it could cost you hundreds.
Until then, keep practicing. Every conversation is Survival English in action.
See you in the next one.
Bye!